the record. Alrighty. Okay. Welcome to Marketing for Introverts. This is going to be so exciting. So exciting. So if you are joining us, we're going to introduce ourselves, but I would love for you to join in the chat and introduce yourself there and where you are from, because we'd love to hear about it. And so, yes, so you always get me, but now we actually have 3 better looking, more smart, intelligent women joining us for this panel that are going to share their genius on marketing tips for introverts, because all of us are introverts and all of us are successful. So right from the get-go, I'd like to just say that everyone measures success in different ways. And so, yeah, everybody has their version of success, but I view all these people as successes that are going to be here, and they are going to share their genius with us. So I'm just totally gonna go from left to right on my screen, and to introduce yourself, just because then I can keep it straight. So Angela, you get to unmute yourself. And I would love for you to tell us, where you're from, what you do, and why you do it. So those are the 3 questions to start off with. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you sell to? And why do you do what you do?
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for having me here. I'm really excited to share cool stuff with you guys. So I'm from Colombia, and I've been traveling the world full time for the past 2.5 years. So I started doing online marketing. So I have an agency. I'm a funnel expert and a Facebook ads expert. And I've been doing this for the past 3 years. And I started because I was a mechanical engineer, and I was bored out of my brains of being a mechanical engineer. So I quit my job. I quit everything, moved to London, and started from scratch. I started by Googling how to make money online. And from there, it's been an amazing journey learning how to build funnels, how to do ads, how to help entrepreneurs grow their business by automating the entire process. And we'll talk about that, how important automation it is for introverts. And I absolutely fell in love with helping entrepreneurs that help other people solve their problems. So yeah, that's what I do. I travel the world and I help entrepreneurs amplify their message and grow their business online.
Awesome. Awesome. Can't wait to hear more about how to automate things, because the more you can automate, the easier life is in general, and especially for us entrepreneurs. All right, Nicolette, what do you do? Who do you work with? And why did you start your business? Do tell.
Okay. So I'm a coach for creative entrepreneurs. So I help all kinds of creatives who are actually like making their own product or service to sell, digital or physical, whatever it is that they are creating, and build their dream businesses. And I help them with clarity and confidence and creating a clear action plan that is simple. A lot of my clients are working full time and trying to get their businesses off the ground and raising kids, or, you know, have life to deal with. So I help them create a really simple plan that's effective and work on their mindset. And my background is in therapy, and so I use a lot of my counseling experience to help entrepreneurs through some of the mindset issues and emotional hangups and all of that stuff. So I work specifically with creatives because I'm a creative person and I have a really varied background. I think a lot of people who start businesses are multi-passionate. So I have an art degree, I have a graphic design degree, I have my counseling degree, and I put all of those things together so that I can help creatives actually create their dream life, and quit their jobs if they don't want to work in a job. I'm not a job person anymore, so I think that makes me happy and fits me a lot better. And so most of my clients are the same way.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. You know, you're an entrepreneur when you're just like, this job thing is really for the birds. It does not allow me to live my best life. And yeah, I got kids, and like, man, life is busy, so keeping it simple and clear is amazing. And so one of the other people on here who's going to help keep things clear and help design that life is Anastasia. Hey, girl.
Hey, Tess. Thanks for having me. So my name is Anastasia Hendrianto, and I am a life design coach and an Enneagram teacher. And I help women go from surviving to thriving by teaching them how to manage their energy and their time so they can get their confidence and their spark back and focus on themselves and what they really want. So it's time to shine the light on women who have maybe put themselves last on their to-do list, right? They put their kids first, then maybe their partners first, and their dreams have been on the back burner. But now they're like ready to make a change, and maybe they've decided that, yeah, regular employment is for the birds, like you said, Chaz, and they just want to create something for themselves. And they're, again, like Nicolette said, multi-passionate. I'm a multi-passionate. So why did I do this? Well, I found like I didn't fit in, and I was trying to fit into, like, corporate culture, and I kept on getting the message that this isn't working. This is not just hard, it's painful. So what's the quote is, if you keep doing the same thing, the definition of insanity. So I realized I had to make a change. So, and I realized my energy was really low. So initially, I've always been interested in health and wellness and energy. And it's helped me land on mindset, because I realized that if you don't have your mindset straight, then it's hard to accomplish what you want to do. You sabotage yourself and find yourself pleasing others and doing all those distractions to take you away from what you really want. And so I help women share their gifts and, live with intention.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So exciting. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm Chess. I'm the business startup coach. So I help introverts who are women, I guess, start their businesses so that they can live life on their terms. And that is my goal, because I think everybody should be able to live the life how they want and to create that path for themselves. And so today we're going to go through everybody here to give some tips on how to market best. But I wanted to start with Nicolette, because Nicolette's going to talk to us about fears, because really we all have some sort of fears, and as introverts they might be a little bit different than extroverts. And so so what would you say, Nicolette, are some of the fears that you find for yourself and maybe some of your clients that are really holding people back from either starting their business or scaling their business, or what?
Yeah, so I think everybody has like a unique situation, and everybody has a unique history and things that they've been through and experiences that have caused them to believe certain things about business and marketing and selling and what that means to start your own business. And I think there's so many fears that really center around not being good enough, and being, when you're an introvert, being vulnerable and being visible in front of a lot of people is really scary. And people have a lot of feelings that have to do with shame and fear of failure, fear of criticism. They want to make sure everybody is comfortable. They want to make sure everybody's happy, want to make sure everybody likes them. Not everybody has all these same fears, but I think those are the most common ones that I see. And especially with my clients who are creative, and a lot of them are artists, like the fear of putting their stuff out there and like maybe thinking that they're crazy enough to think they're good enough to do that and put their own creation out there. It's a lot of mental head garbage that we go through to.
Yeah, I hear a lot of fears of putting yourself out there, like those exact words. Like,
yes,
it is scary putting myself out there. So what does that mean to you when you hear, I'm scared of putting myself out there? What do you think that means?
Yeah, so that's not actually the real fear, is it? It's like, it's all the things that are going to happen to you or that you imagine are going to happen to you. Like you're imagining someone is going to, especially online, we all see what happens to people online when anybody can come up and comment and say anything that they would never say to another human being in real life. So we all see those like kind of rare things happen, but in our minds we have that catastrophe thinking. So we're afraid of being criticized, or we're afraid of failing, and then that would mean something about us if our business fails, or if we put something out there and nobody likes it, or nobody comments, or we don't make any sales from this first promotion, then that means something about me, like I'm a failure, or I did something wrong, or I did something bad. So we attach a lot of our identity and who we are to these business tasks that really are just business tasks and normal things.
Yeah, like I started with saying how everyone defines successes differently, and people define failures as different as well, right? What would you say is a good tip for overcoming like that fear, and especially that fear of failure and fear of putting yourself out there? How do you coach them around that?
So there's different, I mean, it's different for every person. I don't know if you find this, but sometimes it is a matter of just practice and doing it over and over again. Sometimes we have some people have beliefs. I had a lot of like really messed up beliefs. Like, who was I to start my own business? I didn't deserve that. I felt like I was entitled to start my own business or something, like all these crazy things that did not serve me. So really helping people become self-aware through journaling or just talking it out, like what's really underneath this fear, or what are you thinking about yourself? And then the other part is like the practice and building that emotional resilience. I'm a highly sensitive person, so I'm always going to have an emotional reaction to someone's comments or, something, whatever happens. I'm always going to feel an emotion, but building the resilience and sitting with the emotion, sitting with the fear, understanding that I can choose to act in a different way that serves me better, and building that practice and that kind of emotional resilience, I think, is important.
Yes, totally. You mentioned something about journaling. So I was wondering, what would be like 3 journal prompts that people could journal about to help overcome their fears, identify and overcome?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot to try and think
I know,
of a
I
good,
know. I just like think of
powerful sentence.
Sorry, man.
So I think, let's see. Okay, let me tell you this. Instead of giving people like a specific question to answer, I think questions are always good to answer. But what I like to do with myself, my favorite thing to do that really helps me get this stuff out is just like literally start writing. I also have ADHD. I don't know if anybody else does, but I just start writing like a stream of consciousness, and eventually these thoughts and words that am not always aware of start coming out. So I will start saying like, I'm afraid that I won't get any clients this month or something, and just keep writing and writing and writing until some of these other fears come out, and then, or speaking them out loud. And when you then read that back to yourself, you kind of are like, oh, self, that's kind of silly. That's kind of ridiculous. And just kind of self-coaching is another skill that entrepreneurs really need to learn. But if I think of some journal prompts, I will.
Okay, yeah, think about it later. But the whole idea of self-coaching, like that's such a good thing too, because like we're all pretty much coaches here, and we're also not perfect and have all our shit dealt with, right? Like, and so it's easy for us to coach other people, but it, like you said, it's really helpful to actually just flip that on yourself and, imagine the opposite of fear. What would it look like to not be in fear? and to do some of that self-coaching and stuff like that for yourself. That's pretty cool. So if you think of any journal prompts later, that would be fantastic. So Anastasia is the time audit queen. So another main problem that lots of introverts have is time. And that there's not enough time to do this and to do that and to do whatever and to just be, let alone to just be, right? And so, Anastasia, I would love for you to talk to us about your time audit and how we can make time in the day for the things that we value as important.
Perfect. Okay, so my favorite mantra is there's always enough time for the things that matter. So that's how I like to kick it off, because a lot of clients come to me and are feeling overwhelmed. They've got so much on their plate. So that's where I got really interested in time audits. So I think it's really important to know like where your time goes and to do it without judgment. Because a lot of us, come to coaches, or even if we're just, journaling ourselves, we judge our actions and what we're doing or what we're not doing, and it's never enough. So first with a time audit, I get clients to write down everything that they do in a day. Like it doesn't have to be fancy. It can just be a notebook, and start with like when you wake up. And I usually do it like in 30-minute increments, but you can go even like smaller, 15 minutes. But you want to really get a good snapshot of how you spend your time, and no judgment, just jot it down. And I would do at least one weekday and maybe one weekend. And if you can do it for multiple days, it's even better, because you're basically collecting data on how you're spending your time. So you can't change anything if you don't know what you're actually dealing with. So that's the first piece. So then once you've collected how you're spending your time without judgment, I look at the tasks and I see which tasks are energy boosters. So I get my clients to circle or highlight which ones are making you feel good, because as introverts, we can often get drained really quickly. And there can be some things that are fun on your list or your time schedule, but they actually drain you. So then you got to also keep in mind, like, are you scheduling time to rejuvenate or to recover? Because you still want to do some, fun things. So circle all the things that are actually energy boosters. And then also look next at what are your biggest energy drains. So underline those or put a star beside them. So then often what shows up, in like for myself, is the energy drains start to overpower the energy boosters. So that's why you feel like there's never enough time for the things that matter. You're always feeling pulled in too many directions, and often too much in the draining direction, and not enough recovery time. Because there's some things you just have to do that maybe you don't want to do, like say cook dinner, maybe if you're not into cooking, or clean something, you're going to still have to do it, but you need to like balance it out with more energy boosters so that the net is more positive than negative. I'm using math. I'm not more of a linguistic person, but so then after that, then we can look at your values. Okay, are your values represented in your schedule? Like we have our energy drains and our energy boosters, but what about your values? So I said one of my top values was health. So then I have to look at my schedule and go, well, are there things on my schedule to help me improve my health, or at least maintain it? Like moving my body, or making time to cook a meal that's good for me So look at your values and check your schedule to see if it actually reflects it. Like if you're an artist or a creative, do you have time in your schedule to brainstorm or paint or write or whatever or bake or whatever, however you express yourself because I think creativity and expressing your creativity is really important. So looking at your schedule and seeing, are your values reflected in your schedule? And if they're not, then that's often where there's a big problem. Because if your schedule shows and your values aren't showing up, you're living someone else's life. And like you're living your life like for your kids, which is, your kids are important, but they're not your everything. Like as an entrepreneur, you have to balance family, your business, your personal, like your health as well, right? The self-care piece. So self-care piece needs to be in there. And any other values, like if you value learning and you're not scheduling time like to watch that webinar you really wanted to watch, like just like without distractions, like by yourself with your notebook and actually listening, not multitasking while you're trying to watch the webinar. Like, I mean, I'm guilty. I've done that before where I'm just, trying to prep dinner and I've got the webinar going and then I don't really absorb as much. Or instead of like scheduling time where I'm going to sit down and actually listen to it and take notes so that I get what I need out of it, instead of stretching myself too thin. So yeah, that's what's involved with the time audit, looking at energy drains, energy boosters. Are your values reflected in your schedule? And that self-care piece, like, are you taking care of you? Because if you have these big goals and dreams, where are you going to put that into your schedule? Like if you want to like finally get your blog started, or if you want to like figure out your funnel once and for all and like put in the work for your marketing strategy to take off, you need to have the time. And if you have too much on your plate, you just can't keep adding more, because then you're just going to burn out, blow up, or like whatever it looks like for you. And you're just going to want to quit and pack it all in and just say, yep, I'm totally not enough. I'm not smart enough. Like all that, fears come like popping in again, and it brings you to a halt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you, because I know you and your journey with marketing. And so when you're looking at energy boosters and energy drainers, how do you approach marketing yourself and your business when you feel that it's an energy drainer?
Okay, so often introverts hear the word marketing and they think it's an energy drain, and that's the way I used to think, and sometimes it still pops up for me. You need to look at what your gifts are and what you actually enjoy doing. So when you're picking your marketing strategies, pick something, or at least start with something that you enjoy that might actually boost your energy, because it's going to be easier for you. You're going to be more positive and you're going to look forward to doing it. So for example, I enjoy writing. So I try to make sure that my marketing involves me expressing myself through writing. I find making videos draining. So I know, Chaz, you're fantastic at it. So I have to like force myself to do them. Because I know like everyone tells, entrepreneurs that, videos are hot. Everyone wants to watch. Not everyone has time to read. But I think that we all have different personalities, and we need to like create a plan that will work for us, because then it's sustainable. Because if you create something you can't keep up, again, you're just going to like sabotage yourself and not achieve your goals. So yeah, look at your marketing, what you're picking to try for your marketing ideas and strategies, and make sure it fits your personality, your gifts, your strengths, or at least it's something that you want to learn. Like if you don't know how, at least you're excited to learn about it. It's not like, oh, my business coach said that I need to figure out YouTube and like, get my channel going. And if you have no interest, then
right,
you're not going to get a great result.
Well, which is great, because I find it exciting to learn about building funnels and using ads. I personally use Facebook ads since I have started my business, and my brain works in funnels. It's a logical step-by-step way that I think, and therefore I think everybody else thinks that way, even though I know it's not true, especially with creatives. Not everybody thinks that way, but it can help you save a lot of time. So Angela, tell us all about funnels and ads and why we should use them as introverts for marketing.
Absolutely. So as an introvert, I find that having funnels and doing ads is the absolute best thing for me, and for my clients, right? Because you get to automate a process, and people go through it without you having to be there, and without you having to go through the sales process with someone. So when you automate the process, when you automate your sales process, when you automate your lead generation process, you're taking yourself out of the equation up to a certain point. I'm not saying that you need to extract yourself completely from the equation, otherwise it won't work. But having that funnel, that automation will allow you to concentrate your time in what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about coaching, if you're passionate about yoga, whatever it is that you're passionate about, you should be concentrating on that. And that's how we help our clients. We tell them, hey, we're here to deal with all the things that make you uncomfortable. We're here to deal with the tech stuff that drains your energy completely. We're here to deal with the Facebook ads, with the strategy, because we know that that is not your expertise. That is not what you should be spending your time on. And just like Anastasia just said, you need to concentrate on what makes you passionate. Otherwise, you will want to just hide under your covers and never come back out. So that's how we help our clients. We deal with all the tech stuff that for us is so much fun. I'm a mechanical engineer, so the systems, the strategizing, the tech stuff, I freaking love it. And my team loves it too. And that's another thing that I really recommend introverts. Like, for example, you guys were just saying, like, some people like writing and some people like reading stuff. I'm more of a video person. I can make videos, I can go live, but for me, writing is the biggest headache ever. So I prefer to hire someone to do that for me. For example, doing social media, like the organic post, the daily quote, that posting for me is an energy drainer 100%. So what I did was I hired someone to do that for me. And I keep doing what I'm good at. I keep doing what I'm passionate about. So that's my biggest takeout here. What you don't like doing, what drains you, hire someone to do it, unless it's something that it really requires your brain and your time. Okay, you need to get over it and just do it. But if it's something that you can delegate, I know it's hard to delegate. As entrepreneurs, we want to do everything ourselves. We want to manage everything, and we think that we're the only ones that can do that certain thing. When I started building funnels, I thought I was the only funnel builder in the world, that I was the only one that could manage ClickFunnels. And then I went through the process of hiring someone, and it's the best thing ever, because now I can talk directly to my clients and then tell my team, hey, go and do that. So I don't have to spend that much time doing the things that drain me. I mean, I love building funnels, but that's not what's required of me right now.
So I got to interrupt you for 1 second. What do you do, or how do you overcome the objection where people say that they don't have money to hire somebody to do those things? Because, like, yeah, I know I should just focus on doing what I love and outsource everything else, but that costs money. How do you overcome that objection?
So it's all about doing silly math, right? It's all about, okay, so if you spend time coaching someone, how much money do you make coaching that person, right? And let's say you can sell a package for $5,000, $2,000, whatever it is. So it's all about the silly math, saying, hey, if you spend your time doing what you love, you would be making this much money in a year. But if you start doing funnels and you spend 6 months of your time building a funnel that at the end is not going to work, guess what? You just lost $200,000 because you're trying to do something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. When we start our business, we want to do it ourselves. We want to save that money. And we all eventually learn that we need to invest some money in paying someone that knows what they're doing. Because when we do it ourselves, what we're doing is we're hurting our business. We're telling the universe, you know what, this is what they're spending time in the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, okay, I'm here to make it as affordable as I can for you. And we're going to work as hard as we can to get those results. So I always tell everybody, we need to put things in a balance. We need to be okay with the worst case scenario, okay? So put in a balance. What is the worst thing that could happen? If you spend $5,000 on building a funnel and running ads, what is the worst thing that can happen? If nothing works, if it flops, if your offer is the worst thing ever and it flops, what's the worst thing that can happen? Oh, well, you go back to your job and you pay monthly for that $5,000 that you just put in your credit card. No big deal. It's not the end of the world. But if it works, what is the best thing that could happen? You have a recurring income, you have a successful business, you can scale it, you can live the life of your dreams. So that's it. Just put it in a balance. It's the worst thing that can happen, what's the best thing that can happen? And if the worst thing that could happen is not the end of the world, then what are you waiting for?
I love that. I love that. Okay, a little bit on the funnels, because everybody hears about funnels, but I run into a lot of people, especially who are starting, who are like, what's a funnel? How does this make my life better?
Cool. Okay, let's start with what is not a funnel. First, a website is not a funnel. Websites, the problem with them is that right now, with everything that is going on in the world, we have social media, we have YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, we have so many distractions that right now, humans are conditioned to look at something, take 3 seconds to decide if they want it or not, and keep moving on if they don't want it, okay? So the problem with a website is that when you go to a website, there's so many call to actions. There's the gallery, the about page, the products. There's so many things that you can do on a website. But we don't have the patience to go through everything that you can find on a website to actually buy something or book a call. So what we do is strip that down and make it as simple as possible. So we create pages that only have one call to action. So for example, you go to a page and you say, hey, join this masterclass that we will show you how to blah, right? And all you can do is either put your email and say yes, or close the window. That's it, right? So that is the idea behind the funnel. Make it as simple as possible and one step at a time so that people can understand the idea behind your offer and take it or leave it, right? And the next concept behind a funnel is you're going to spend a lot of effort to bring people into your website, right? And you're paying Facebook, you're paying advertising, you're paying a lot of money and time to bring people into a website. But then they buy, let's say, a $20 product, and that's it, they leave, gone. The idea behind a funnel is more like a McDonald's kind of thing. You come to McDonald's and you say, hey, I want a burger. And then they tell you, hey, would you like to add fries? Would you like to add a soda? Would you like to add an ice cream? So they pay for you to come and get that burger, but along the way in that sales process, they give you all these upsells. And what that's doing is generating more profit out of that same person. So with a funnel, you bring people into a freebie, a worksheet, a webinar, a masterclass. You bring them in and you spend all your marketing efforts to bring them into that first page. And then you can take them through a sales process that takes them through upsells and downsells and cross sells. That will increase the profit from that one person. So that is a funnel. Two things. One, super simple, one call to action per page. And two, it's a sequence, it's a sales process that you can take your customers through to get them from not knowing who you are to becoming loyal customers.
Awesome. Awesome. And it's all automated. So I don't have to sit and spend my energy on one-on-one conversations that might or might not lead to anywhere. Posting constantly, and it does go back to doing what you love, concentrating and doing what you love. I'm really big on that. My tips for marketing for introverts is to kind of combines all of these things. So I work with helping people get on social media more for marketing purposes, but at the same time, less is more. And I think Anastasia might have said that. Less is more. And so being very intentional on what you do. So I like to teach a 20-20-20 in 2020, because that's what you're in. 20 minutes, 3 times a day in marketing. And then you can do whatever else you need to build your funnels, to journal about your fears, to spend time with your family and do the things that you love. Plus, you know what? We all work with clients. And so 20-20-20 is just a short period of time. Set your timer. And so first thing in the morning, well, not first thing, but when you start work, set your timer for 20 minutes and just think of building your audience. So if you're on Facebook, adding friends, if you're on Instagram, following people, if you're on LinkedIn, connecting with people. So just connecting. That's all you're doing. Then a couple hours later, so I usually do mine right after lunch, another 20 minutes to then send up a follow-up message with those who have connected with you and just starting a conversation with them. And then later on, I like to do it like either right before supper or right after dinner, is then following up and deepening those conversations. And sometimes I'll type, sometimes I'll do voice to text because it's easy not to have to type. So it's worked so well for some of my clients because they don't feel overwhelmed, and it's really focused. So like I'm big on just finding your thing and focusing. Anastasia, I don't know if I told you, but the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, is a fantastic book on finding that one thing that's going to grow your business and do it well. And so we have like a million things that we can do, and we can feel busy doing those things, right? And we can get a sense of value out of feeling busy. But that usually leads to burnout. And I think Nikki said, like, you don't need to burn out. So just being very intentional with your time and set apart that time to market, because unfortunately, to have a business, you got to market yourself. You got no clients, you got no business. So whether that's through one-on-one conversations with people, that's how I like. But I'm also working to automate a lot more so that I can reach a larger audience. And to do that and go on vacation and chill, and still grow my business at the same time. And so now I just want to open it up. And what other advice? Now we can feed off each other and like have fun. So now that you've listened to anybody, Nikki, do you have anything else to add?
Well, I mean, I could talk all day, but I was just I had a thought when Angela was talking about the fear of investing in something. There's a quote that I heard that's like, are you playing to win, or are you playing to just not lose? And if you're just playing to just not lose, you're going to lose every time. And you have to get over this fear of investing, because your fear is just trying to keep you safe and small. Our brains are kind of dumb that way, and we just want to be safe and just do the predictable thing that we know is what's going to happen. And if you can shift from committing more to your dreams and your belief in yourself and something amazing happening, or even just that you'll be okay if it doesn't work out, rather than committing to this fear and listening to your brain who wants to keep you safe and small. Business owners have to make investments. You cannot make money without investing something.
It was funny because I was talking to somebody about investing versus spending. Actually, I think it was my sister, who's the farthest thing away from being an entrepreneur, but it was about like even our kids' education. And she kept referring to it as like spending money on education. And I'm like, it's investing. And so like in investing, you have that ROI, you have a return on investment. When you're just spending money and going to buy like, you know, $200 shoes. Okay, shoes are a bad example because I view them as an investment because they make my life happier. But so, you know, versus just spending money on whatever, that's not really going to bring you anything back that you can measure, right? Investing in a coach, investing in ads, investing in automation. Like those are things that you can measure the return on, right? Yeah, get over that fear.
Yes.
Get over that fear.
Yeah, one thing that I tell always my clients is you need to be smart when you invest. You need to set the expectations right and know your place in that investment. Like a lot of people think that Facebook ads are the magic pill that when you put money in ads, it will magically make you a lot of money. But the reality is that you need to know your place in that investment. If your offer sucks, if your offer is really bad, you can spend $1 million in ads and you're not going to get anything in return. So when you make an investment, just be super clear that you need to put your part in that. How many people buy online courses? They invest in online courses and they don't even open the first module of the course. Yeah, you invested, but you didn't put your part into making that investment a good investment.
Yeah.
Right? So it's always about knowing your part and making it happen. I remember back when I started this whole online thing, I went to a conference and they were selling a 10,000 pound package. That's like $13,000 product. And they were promising all these things. And I just kept telling myself, it is up to me to make it happen. Yeah, it's a lot of money. And they will teach me all that stuff, but it is up to me to make that come true. It is up to me to listen to them, to implement and make it come true.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I was just going to add to Angela, you're talking about taking responsibility, like since we're talking about in making investments and taking responsibility, like no one can do it for you, right? Like I know a lot of people are hesitant to invest in say business coaching or life coaching or marketing because it's money that they're spending on themselves, and they find it so much safer to spend money on like their kids or something for their home or something other than like themselves that they, I know Nicolette mentioned the fear of like not deserving it. But really we all deserve to be healthy and happy. We don't have to prove our worth. Like just because we exist, we deserve to be healthy and happy and safe. That's just, we're humans. But it's also about taking responsibility that no one's going to do it for you. You have to like raise your hand and say, I'm going to make the time. And like you said, Chaz, less is more. It's not about adding more things to your plate and feeling that overwhelm. It's like taking a step back and making a commitment to yourself and starting small. Like a lot of people get excited. I know I do. And then I sign up for too many things and then it just blows up. So start small make a small investment in like your schedule, like making time for you. And then maybe you're going to see, oh, I got some big payoffs from spending time on myself. Maybe next I want to invest in a coach or a teacher or hiring help because it's going to save me time in my business. So that time I saved, I can do what I'm passionate about or what I'm really good at, and let the other people that are really good at those other things do their thing. I don't have to learn everything. I just need to stay in my own lane and focus. But again, you have to take responsibility and go, I really want this. I'm willing to take the risk. It's worth it. And again, I love Angela's idea of like, well, what's the worst case scenario? Like, well, I probably won't die. So what's the best case scenario? I can create the lifestyle that fits my family and my personality instead of like fighting against it and trying to like keep up with everyone else, right? So yeah, investment, take responsibility for yourself and take that risk, because again, we're only here once, right? Like, I mean, I guess depending on your belief system, you only have to go around one time, in this lifetime anyways. So why not go for it? Like, just imagine how much fun you can have and how many lives you can impact, and imagine also your kids and your family that you're showing them what's possible, and you can just feel that energy and that momentum and just wake up. I'm all about feelings. Wake up feeling like excited about your day, and excited about what could happen and all the possibilities.
Yeah. And then everything that you do follows into place. When you see those positive or see all the possibilities out there and focus on getting them, taking the action, and it's feeling. My favorite thing as a coach is to say that you need to be doing less. Less, maybe not stress. I know I told you this. It's like, what would happen if you took the week off? Is anybody going to die? No. You know, like I have a client now whose mom's going through cancer. Do you even want to focus on your business right now? You know, because I don't think you should, you know, like, how are you going to manage that? Or yeah, it's crazy busy now that I got to homeschool my COVID kids, you know, and, so maybe you downsize things to make your life the life that you want to live, because it's our life to live, and create that life that you want, either by overcoming your fears or scheduling time, doing automations to create the life that you want to live, and believe that anything is possible for you. And so that's what I kind of just want to end this on, is believe everything is possible, and that you do have to do a little bit of work to do it, but you don't have to do everything. Don't have to do everything, and you can do it. And so let's go back around. What is the best way that people can reach you? And I will write this out and put it, or if you can leave a comment, put a comment in on the Facebook group, or not, I will also email it out in the replay. So what is the best way that people can contact you? And if you have an upcoming offer coming up, because I know some of you do, let everybody know. Angela, you start.
Cool. So I just launched a $7 coaching program to help people with their funnels, their ads, even their chat bots. So we do 2 group coaching calls per month. And so you can go to calltosoulmachine.com. It's written right there. calltosoulmachine.com, and join our $7 coaching program.
Awesome. Nicolette.
Yeah, so tomorrow I am actually doing my very own masterclass where I am teaching how to create your own personalized roadmap to success. It's called Passion to Profit, for new or new-ish creatives, artists, creative business owners, to create a simple plan so you don't have to do everything. There's no overwhelm required. It's like simple step-by-step, from putting your idea into something clear and all the way to making sales. And I'm on Facebook at Nicolette Launders and Instagram, Nicolette Launders.
All righty. Awesome. And Anastasia, what you got going on?
Well, this summer, my focus is on my free discovery sessions. So you can book a call with me for like about 30 minutes to an hour. And I just want to hear about what you're excited about so that we can talk about the fall. Like, what could your fall 2020 look like? Because really, there's 6 months left of the year practically. So that's plenty of time. And we don't need to wait until January to look at our goals. So I want to hear like what are you dreaming about? What are your goals? And how can we like take those first steps? So I just want to be your sounding board. I want to hear your ideas. And I just love asking questions. I'm super curious. I want to make sure that you're doing it for you, like that you know your why, and that if you're going to invest this time, money, or whatever you need to do, that it's actually what you want. And sometimes just saying these things out loud helps you get clarity that you're not just headed in the wrong direction, that you're staying true to yourself. So yeah, book a free discovery session with me, and then we can just talk about what your future could look like for the rest of 2020. So at ahealthyjourney.ca, and I'm on Instagram too at Anastasia Hendrianto. I love hanging out there too.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, my lovely ladies. And I hope you guys have a good day, and I will send this out to anybody. And we were thinking of doing a longer, like a virtual summit. We're not sure if that's going to happen this summer just because it's mid-July already, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is getting crazy. And so we will follow up with you. Thank you for joining, and any questions, feel free to ask any of us. We're all open books, I'm gonna venture out and say, and so we're all here to help and to serve you. So have a good day, and
Thank you.
love you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm going to stop recording.